Well, look, first of all, can I say it is great to be here, and I want to thank Bite the Ballot for making this possible, because it's a huge opportunity for me. Jobs matter. 700,000 young people are looking for work in this country today, and we've got to guarantee jobs for young people, and that's what Labour would do. But I think the quality of jobs matters a lot as well.
Talking about earlier, but what would you do to actually make a change?
Well, something very specific we can do, Jamal. We've said that we would tax the bonuses of the bankers, and we'd use those resources that we raise to guarantee every young person who's been unemployed for more than 12 months a job.
Why has every Labour government ever left office with higher unemployment than when it started?
Well, look, I don't think that's correct. And actually, if you look at what the record of the last government was, what we actually did was we produced lots of jobs, but then there was a financial crisis. Now, you know, the Conservatives are going to say, well, it's only Britain that was affected by that financial crisis. You know, actually, the financial crisis affected governments all around the world. I think the question people want to know is what's actually going to happen in the future. You know, what are we actually going to do for the future?
That every young unemployed person will get a paid job. How will you guarantee this, and who will pay for it? Well,
that's the point, Mike, about the banks. The banks are going to play that really important role. Because I think, you know, people saw the financial crisis happen, and people are saying, you know, are they going to pay their contribution? I think one thing people are thinking at the moment is it seems like ordinary people are just paying the price of the financial crisis. I think banks have to make their contribution. The thing I'd say just on this politician's pay rise is I'm not going to be part of a government that gives a big pay rise to MPs when we're still having tough times for nurses, teachers, lots of public and private sector workers. I don't think that's on mission. I don't think any young person should find themselves out of work and unable to kind of, you know, have the opportunities. On your point about will young people have to take jobs, I think the National Health Service is our proudest institution. I think it says so much about us as a country. You know, free at the point of need, healthcare, not dependent on the size of your wallet, not like America.
Like, what are your experiences with drugs and how that informs you when making policies about it?
So I haven't taken drugs. Even alcohol? That's my experience. Well, I'm not teetotal. I'm not teetotal. Let me just give you my honest take on this. I'm not in favour of decriminalisation, for example, of cannabis, of namby-pamby. I think that young people in schools should be taught about resilience. Life is great to be a young person today, but it is incredibly hard. It's done quickly is by going private. I don't think you should have to go private to get proper care, timely care. We were bringing in the private sector because we were desperate to get waiting lists down and we thought they could add capacity. This is more, under this government, substituting for what the public sector is doing. We brought waiting lists down from 18 months to 18 weeks because we brought the private sector in on top. This is about something totally different.
Minister, how are you going to fix our democracy?
Well, it certainly needs fixing. One very specific thing that we're announcing today is that we're going to have votes for 16 and 17-year-olds. And today I am pledging to bring that in by May 2016. How do we get young people engaged in politics? And this is the debate we've got to have. I actually think if young people thought that politics would make a difference to them, then they'll vote. And, you know, part of that is about education, but part of it is about people like me showing you're going to make a difference. I'm going to make a difference. That's why I started tonight with jobs.
Argue with it. If you're Prime Minister, how are you going to change or solve this immigration crisis?
Well, I don't agree with Nigel, because my starting point is immigration is of benefit to the country. And, you know, I'm the son of immigrant parents, and I believe they've made a contribution to this country. I believe lots and lots of people who come into this country make a huge contribution. Something wrong. Now, we underestimated quite significantly the impact of Polish immigration. If we'd known then what we know now, we'd have done it over a much longer transitional period. That's why we've changed our policy. That's why we've said we want longer transitional controls when new countries enter the European Union. It's a good question. Tuition fees. I want to lower the tuition fee. I'm quite sort of... I'll learn from the Nick Clegg experience. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I'm very keen to make a promise that I can keep. We will set out a policy in our manifesto.
Join us next week where Nick Clegg, leader of the Liberal Democrats, will be tackling health, education and jobs. You can decide the fourth topic for Nick. Go to leaderslive.co.uk where you can vote now. From me, Ed and everyone here, good night. See you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ed. It was great.